Hi, it's Jess here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. So I've got a bit of an upcycling project for you today. So quite a while ago, maybe a couple of months now, I made this box. This is some retired Stampin' Up paper that I was hoarding. And when I have paper that I really love, I like to make sort of storage, something I can keep so I can forever look at it, but I've used it. I got these Catch for Christmas, and it's the first time I've used it, so it's not bad to get it for Christmas in December and finally get around to using it in November. And I've covered the inside with an old vintage encyclopedia, and then went over it with some watered down PVA, which I put some re-inker in it to give it that vintage look. Put some Stampin' Up washi down there, and I plan on making a boho journal. And my mother-in-law got me these beautiful sort of sari cut-offs. That's what they look like. Love them. So put them in there. So I'd actually forgot I'd put them in there. So I'm going to show you how I made this. So this started out as an ink box. So I have a printer that I subscribe to. I pay monthly for my ink, and when I run out of ink, one of these little boxes arrives in my house with some ink inside. So so I got quite a few of them. I don't get them every month. I pay every month, but I only get them as and when I require ink. And they're really good, sturdy box. And I thought, oh, well, they're a nice size for storage. And I thought, well, if I make a lot of them, that would look lovely on my shelf. So why not use some of that favourite papers that I have? So I had a little fiddle. I've seen other people do this, and I thought I'd have a go. Now, I did carefully do this so that I had it so that the lid went all the way down, but then I remembered I had this catch, so I have ripped it off. So let's put that one out of the way. I'll probably refer to that. So I did carefully rip this off, but I'm just going to rip them off. And you see where that's taken the top off there? That is a lovely embellishment. So these are going in my scrap box. My entire room is more or less turning into a scrap box, but there we go. But that especially, don't even have to fiddle with trying to get that out. So shove them under there. Now, what I do is I try and get rid of as much sort of this sort of gubbins as I possibly can. So I've got a little spatula there, so that's quite cool for getting those off. So that was the little bit that exposed the corrugated cardboard on that strip, so it left it on the box. That is also very nice. That's in a scrap box just underneath my desk. I've got a big container, and I just shove bits of scrap in. There, that will be all right now. So I want to sort of try and get it as smooth as possible for sticking things on, because we don't really want it to be bumpy. So I'm trying to get as much of this off as I possibly can. So just pulling it up, and then I might go over it with a bit of a sander. So most of that's off there. So yeah, so now what I'll do is I've got a sanding block, and you can use an emery board. I use those as well, but these cheap as chips. So just go over that a little bit, smooth it down. I mean, I'm covering it, but don't want a bumpy edge. So slight dent there, but it doesn't matter. So that's me happy with how that's turned out. Get rid of all the shavings. So now it's a matter of preparing the box. So you will notice that all the edges have got black. So I use some black tape around all these edges. So this is special construction tape designed for using for creating sort of mini albums and things. Gaffer tape, I imagine, would also work. I've used that before. So what I did was I sort of built up the corner a little bit and just put a little bit of card on the corner to hold these in place, because that's got a gap in it. On the inside I put a little bit of card, on the outside I didn't. So I'm going to get a little strip of card. So what does this measure? About 3/4 of an inch. Probably got a strip here that's 3/4. Yes. So whenever I cut my when I cut my cardstock down for layers and things, I always end up with a bit. So let's just fold that over. I'm going to do nothing too fancy. Fold that over, give it a burnish, snip it off. So and then just fold that one in half. No measuring, just a little scrap. And then I'm going to glue it to these inside flaps to create a squared off edge. That is what I want to do, so that it sticks on there at like a 90-degree angle. That is what I'm going for. I'm going to use Tombow because it's quick drying. There we go. So stick that under there. You also do have a little bit of wigglage. There we go. So I'm just going to hold that in place so it is like at a 90-degree angle. Do the same with the other, and then when you put your black tape on it, it pulls it together a bit better. So I'm just going to trim some bits off the top because it was slightly longer, but I want to trim off all these sort of serrated bits anyway. So just going along, snipping off. Oh, don't really want to go into the box lid, but I've done it now. So get those little serrated bits off. So that is that bit of the box, and then we want to cover the whole thing. We cover the inside as well with the black tape. Now my tape, I sort of I had to do it in different layers, but if you go on the inside first and then fold it over. I think that was the easiest bit. Got rubbish and gubbins in there. So this tape will rip if you're using gaffer tape. Don't think that does rip, does it? Not quite so easily. But I think like gaffer tape, it's a bit of a cloth tape. So I'm actually gonna cut mine. So going to rest it on the inside there, and then it can go over the edge, so your edges get neatened. Right, so needed to go down there a little bit, but that's fine. I'll be adding some bits on the corner anyway. So make a bit here. Do actually want it to go around the edge. You do get a little bit of time with this, which I don't think you'll get with gaffer tape. I think gaffer tape's one stick and it's done, in it. So I've sort of matched that up along the edge there. I'm folding this around that back corner there, and I'm gonna cut down a little bit there where it would overlap. It's really hard to explain what you're doing. I'm hoping you work it out from watching. So cut a bit more off because I want all this to come over and that to go down the other way. So, and then in this corner I'm going to slit it down there so that will go over there, and this will go down there, and then that can go in that way. So that's that. We're going to do the same on this side. So that's that bit done. So I'll do a little bit more around those bottoms, but now I'm going to do the outside. So you can see there that I have done it in 2 bits. Some tape is thicker, so you might be able to do it in 1 bit if you're using thicker tape. So I'm going to just do a bit on the corner here. So I'm going to go halfway on the corner, snip, fold one side down, fold the other side down to do that corner, and do the same at the top bit so that the corner's covered. Actually, I want to do it that way. Stick it around the sides first because I want the sides covered, and then snip it at the top. So that one side goes that way, and one side goes that way. It's not perfect there, but I'm not looking for perfection. It's for my craft desk to make me smile every day. You can get corners, so you can buy metal corners. I thought I had some, but looks like I only got the catches. So there we go, that's those corners sorted. I think they're fine. So now I'm going to do strips along the top, and sort of measuring that on the edge a bit. I'm going to go round, if I can. Actually, she changes her mind. I'm going to do that after. I want to put a bit on the corner first because it's not quite big enough. So half on, half off, and I will need to put another strip round all the way around the front, but we'll just do this bit for now. And cut that along there. So that's all the way around. I mean, I suppose you could, once you've kind of covered the corners, you could use some sort of washi tape. You could use brown packaging tape. That's another thing you could use. Will flatten down if you've got some creases. So I'm going to put a bit across this front section now, which will once again overlap over the top a bit, but I might have it overlapping around the bottom actually. And then I've got some more coverage along the bottom, so I'm going to use the top of the box as my guide. And it's all fine and dandy. So that's that bit of the lid preparation. So now we want to put it around all of the edges. So on the box you've got it around all of the edges. Going to go around this section and the bottom section and up the sides. You've got these notches here, but I just covered them with tape. I didn't put any extra card in there because, as you've seen, I do several layers, so it's not really a massive problem. So, although I might just do one layer to be fair. So half on, half off. so that it can fold over. This is a little bit more straightforward than the lid. Okay, so getting to the end there, just gonna snip. Snip there. And like before, snip the corners so that we can fold over and fold down. And then I'll cover it with paper, and then I might go back over it again once I've done that. But that's a nice edging there. And then we're going to put a bit on the back here. And I want to cover, so I'm going to do an overlap on both sides, so that I get the edging of the box covered. So let's go like that. Let's cut up there. And little bits like that you can go over with a black pen, which is probably what I'll end up doing. But that's the lid, nicely covered. There's some slightly exposed bits there, but I'm just going to come in with a black blend, so it's just now coal marker, and just cover those end bits. And on the inside of the box here, I might do that as well. Get the brush end. And then we're just going to go around the bottom. So that's that bit. So we just need up the sides now. I probably should have done the sides first. I didn't, but in retrospect, doing the side bits might have been better, and then we wouldn't have had that join. But I didn't. But if you're following me, don't make my mistake. Not that you really see much of a join, it's very black, you can hardly see a join there. That is all of the box covered apart from the inside. Okay, so I am going to get the paper out, ready to cover the inside and the outside, and at the moment the lid's doing that, but we're going to put a closure on it so it will be all right. So the paper I want to use for this is the Blackberry Beauty paper. I haven't used massive amounts of this because I have been hoarding it because I do love it. I use that sheet. That's all I've got left of it to make another notebook. I cut these owls out of that sheet. Got another sheet. But it's these gold ones that I love. There's that one, there's that one, and there's that one. Those were the ones I was thinking that I might use. This one I don't like so much, but I thought I could maybe use that on the inside because that's quite pretty. I did think about cutting out some of these birds. I quite like that one. A few more colours in that. And the closing mechanisms is a bit sort of antique-y, so I thought that colour might go better with it actually. And then I remembered, actually, if I'm going to do that with a bit of gold in, I've got this Wonder of the Season paper, which is retired. And it's, although if you read it, it's very Christmas orientated, but it's got gold. And I thought, oh, that might be quite nice on the inside. If I grunge it up a bit, to go with gold on the outside. There's a plan. So, yes, now I need to measure what I need. I could go 6.5, I think would give me a little bit of a border on the top, by 4.25. I need to write this down. So I've worked out my measurements, and I remembered that on the other box, because I covered it in vintage paper, I actually lined it first. And that also helped cover up this blue section. So I'm going to go over the edges with my black pen. I don't think that's going to be as dark as I want it, so I might get my acrylic paint out and paint round the edges. There we are. So I've just got a bit of black acrylic paint. Not used this. I think I've got a bigger one, but I couldn't find it, so just going to put a little bit in the bottom there. Probably put far too much in. Never mind. I'm just gonna paint the edges, and then I'll leave it to dry, and I'm just about to pop out, so this is good timing for me. Yeah, that's giving it a nice bit of coverage there. You could go in with some tape, you could use black cardstock, cover these edges. I just wanted to make it easier. That was enough actually. Give them a wash, leave that to dry, and I'll cut my papers up ready for the next bit. Okay, so I've prepped the pieces. The paint is dry. I managed to get all the bits I needed out of one 12 by 12 sheet, and I've got a few little bits left, so that's lovely because I do like the paper, so I'm quite happy there's some left over. I did have to adjust slightly on the inside one, so in order to be able to get it, because it was directional, I had to change the top to being 4 1/4 wide, well, deep, and the bottom to be just be 4. Otherwise it would have been on its side and that wouldn't have worked. I still managed to cut the bottom piece in the wrong way, but those were the ones that worked. So I want to colour this. So the background colour in this is Blackberry Bliss. So I have gone ahead and done the bottom piece. So I just used my blending brush to put the ink on. I think that works quite nice. I did, despite the fact that I measured and I worked everything out, I still cut this wrong, but I've just put a bit of sellotape on there. It's going on the bottom, so it doesn't matter. So that is ready there to get stuck down, and I think that'll look nice. I'm gonna put a bit of the black tape across there, so I'm going to do that now, and then I'll do a little bit of the blending to show you what I did, although I'm sure you all know how to blend. But I'm going to put a bit of tape across here and then stick the paper to it. I think in this one I put it on afterwards and it was too thick, which is why I put a bit washi across the middle. But I'm going to stick over, I don't know, Confessions of a Messy Desk. So going to get a bit of this tape. I'm going to cut that end there so it is straight. That's now stuck to my finger, so that's okay. So I'm going to stick this so awkward to get your hand in, and because of where I've done it, I've now cast a shadow. I'm gonna cut a strip. I'm gonna guess and trim a bit off, otherwise I'm never gonna get in there. Right, so I'm gonna put that. I just think this will just make it all match and give a little bit of extra strength there on the let's not go straight. There, we start with the middle. Just a little bit of strength there on the box opening and closing. There we go. And I'm going to snip down the side there, and then that can continue to there. Snip down the side there, and then it can go out to there. Cut a bit off there. I think that's going to work nice. So I just think that will help with the longevity of this box, so that can just get stuck down. I'm going to use my collard glue on this because it gives it a little bit of extra strength and rigidity. It's like adding some extra GSM or poundage. It'll make the box a bit tougher. Pop this down. Bit of wigglage. So that's that first bit in place. So I'm just going to do some blending on that, just so you can see how I did it, and then I'll do all the rest without filming. So just use my blending brush. Aim in. The foil resists it a bit. I'll go over with a dry baby wipe afterwards to get it off. I could have left it white, but I thought it'd be nice. Blackberry Bliss is my favourite colour, and so I thought, it's got Blackberry Bliss on the outside. The paper's called Blackberry Beauty, so and it means by using this piece of paper, I didn't have to use one of the other beautiful pieces. I can save that for another project. So just going around, building up the colour. The more you put on, the deeper it is. I like having a variation of colour. Good job, because I've done a few splotches. And I think that is quite a bit darker than the bottom. So now I just take dry baby wipe. I'm just going to rub over so that the gold comes out. I don't know if you are noticing that on camera, but me looking at it, I can see far more of the gold there than at the bottom. So that's just removing the ink from the foiling, so the gold shows up a bit more. There we go. And then that is ready to go on there on the inside. It is a bit darker than the one at the bottom, but I don't mind. Don't mind at all. So, and these are cut to be a tight fit. The ones on the outside have a bit more of a border, and I think painting with that acrylic paint was a genius idea. So now I'm going to do the 4 sides, but I'll do it speeded up. So that's the inside finished, and I think it looks lovely. Yeah, happy with how that is. So now we just need to put these bits on. So that one's slightly bigger, so that's on the top, that one's on the bottom, and I think I am going to round the corners. Perfect. Right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink around the edges in black, but I'm going to do it just on the edge. I don't want it to come around, so I'm going to get my black dauber So I am now going to finish off all the other sides in exactly the same way. So that's it all covered. So the last thing to do is this closure. So I had to build up a platform here because this is quite thick. So I shall show you my bits. So I got these for Christmas. They were in a pack. You buy the tops, the bottoms, you get screws. Yeah, and they were on my wish list of what I wanted. I would have sourced them from an online shop that sells everything. So I'm doing that one to the top, and then once that one's in place, I can judge how that needs to be raised. So I've dug out a bit of the box that I cut off, which should be enough to close. I might need to double it over, which would be okay. And that's how I did that, and I just covered it in this black tape. So let's get this on. Basically this screws in place, so I just sort of eyeballed the center. You can measure if you want. I don't bother. And then I just screwed it in, and it doesn't come all the way to the other side, but it is pretty secure in there. Right, I've just had to go all the way down to the back of the house to retrieve a small screwdriver. I do have a craft room one, but I don't know where that is now. So I'll try again. Just pushed it a little bit there into the card. Yeah, this is coming quite far out the other end. The other one definitely didn't do that. So I'm going to try it with the smaller screw, because that's far too long. I've got 3 bags of screws, all different sizes. That one's definitely smaller. Tiny. Oh, that might have been it. Oh dear, oh dear. I might put my glasses on. There. Where it went in. I might have used the longer one on the bottom because that went through all layers of cardboard. Oh, I can just hear me dad going, "What are you doing, woman?" My dad was so good at DIY. Me, not so much. I can put a shelf up. I built cupboards and a fire surround in our first house. There we go. My dad was well impressed when he saw them. Now they are coming out a little bit. I will probably just put some tape in the back there. So that's that. So now I need to build this up. Now what I need to do is stick that through. Stick that through as though it's closed. Yep, I think that will work. That doubled over. That will work. So I'm going to glue this together. I might make it a little bit smaller. Doesn't actually have to be that big, does it? Cut it off there. Glue it down. Hold that for a sec. Consult this to remind myself. Yeah, I just covered it in black. Where's my black tape? Underneath the box, Jess. Centered it so that was under there like that, ready for this to go on. So gonna use some Tombow for this. It's nice and strong and quick drying. I've left a bit of the cardboard exposed there because I thought that might stick better than the tape. Yeah, I think that'll work. So if I centre that in there, that'll go through. I think I'm going to try the bigger screw on this one. My fingers are filthy with all the glue and stuff. So we're just screwing into cardboard, so it's not like screwing into wood, which you need to sort of drill a guide hole for. This just goes in quite nicely. It has come on the inside a little bit. I'll rectify that. And that closes nicely. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the back where the screws have come through, but I'm going to wash my hands first. So it's a tiny bit on the inside of that, so I'm thinking just a little bit of cardstock, maybe doubled over, on there, and I'll just stick it down and put a bit of black tape over it. I think that will work for that. I think it's going to take a little bit longer to dry. So then we need to cover this. I'm wondering if it needs to be thicker. Thinking it maybe does. So there we have it. That's my little upcycled box, all ready to use as nice storage for things. And I think the two of them together look very nice. I can make a load, can have them stacked up on a shelf. And I will be making more. I really like them. I think they'll look lovely on a shelf. Could be beautiful gift boxes to give to people. But yeah, how lovely will they look? I need to make oodles of them. I could keep my embellishments. I've got new embellishments from the new catalogue. So I'm always needing somewhere to put my baker's twine because I have oodles of them. I've got my, look at that, yeah, nice little embellishment pot. Love it. So yeah, hope you like that. I will put the measurements of the mats that I cut, which should be about the same if you're using the same boxes, but I hope that gives you an idea of other boxes. I mean, particularly now coming up to Christmas, some of your presents might come in nice boxes that you could use, and I hope that's sort of giving you some ideas of how to do a bit of upcycling. So that was 2 pieces of 12 by 12 paper, and just a little bit of time, and other than that, cost me now. And how much do you imagine you'd pay for that in a shop? So yeah, and if you do craft fairs or whatever, you can make them and sell them. I know these cost, but I mean, they weren't, I got loads, and so I don't think they cost that much. So yeah, anyway, thank you for joining me. This is coming out, yeah, before Christmas, so have a lovely Christmas. I'll probably have another video before Christmas, and yeah, I hope this gives you some last minute gift ideas for you. Okay, see you all again soon. Bye.